Artifact ID-W3, informally known as the shattered glass, is a fragmented mirror that exhibits anomalous reflective properties and memory-distorting effects. Personnel within a 10-meter radius experience fragmented recollection and shifting perceptions of themselves and the environment. Immediate disorientation, subtle cognitive disruption, and altered states of recognition are reported in individuals exposed to the artifact for prolonged periods. Physical characteristics. ID-W3 consists of 7 fractured pieces of an antique mirror originally embedded in an ornate tarnished bronze frame. Each shard exhibits varied degrees of damage, with visible impact marks and faded inscriptions along the back of the frame. While the origin of these inscriptions remains unidentified, they appear to be written in a language resembling, though there is no known translation available. The artifact's surface displays an unusual sheen under any light source, creating a faint, luminescent aura that reflects distorted images in unpredictable directions. Test subjects report seeing reflections out of sync with their own movements, with occasional glimpses of an environment inconsistent with their immediate surroundings. Containment Protocols 1. Physical containment. ID-W3 is to be stored within a sealed glass case, resistant to shattering or puncture, within Containment Unit 14B. The case is layered with an anti-reflective coating to reduce accidental exposure to its reflective surface. 2. Personnel restrictions. Only personnel with Level 4 clearance or higher may access Containment Unit 14B. All individuals are required to undergo cognitive assessment before and after exposure, and may not remain in the unit for longer than 30 minutes. 3. Observation precautions. Visual study of ID-W3 is restricted to indirect means only, for example, via recording devices with digital distortions manually corrected post-observation. At no time is direct viewing allowed. Field notes. ID-W3 was discovered within a concealed room, its shards arranged in a circular formation on a decayed velvet cloth atop an iron table. Despite extensive search efforts, no records identifying the previous owner of the estate were located. Initial retrieval teams reported unusual perceptual shifts upon entering the room, describing sensations of displaced memories and brief, confusing visual gaps. After ID-W3 was contained and relocated to site, Level 4 personnel conducted preliminary observational tests, which yielded a series of anomalous psychological effects detailed below. Incident summary. Dr. Reynolds approached the artifact without direct eye contact. After approximately 8 minutes, she reported an abrupt sense of déjà vu, describing the sensation as distinctly visual and claiming to have recognized fragments of her past within the reflections, despite looking at them indirectly. Notable phrases documented by Dr. Reynolds included, "I saw myself, but different. I remembered things that never happened. There was someone else behind my reflection. They were me, but they weren't." Results. Dr. Reynolds was removed from the containment area and administered a cognitive reset protocol. In her post-observation interview, she reported hazy memories of her reflection behaving independently and attempting to say something. However, she could not recall any specific words or phrases. Only an overwhelming sense of familiarity. Incident summary. D-1189 was instructed to gaze into the artifact for a period of 15 minutes. After approximately 12 minutes, D-1189 began exhibiting signs of confusion and agitation. He reported seeing a series of faces within the shards, each one mirroring a different emotion or age. Some reflections resembled D-1189 from years prior, while others bore subtle yet unplaceable changes to his physical appearance. At 17 minutes, D-1189 fell silent, refusing to respond to questioning. Researchers noted an uncharacteristic delay in his responses, as if he struggled to recognize himself or the environment around him. Results. Upon removal from the containment area, D1189 displayed difficulty in identifying his own reflection in any standard mirror. During a post-incident interview, he described seeing fractured pieces of himself scattered and wrong, adding that his reflections appeared to know something he didn't. Within an hour of exposure, D1189's recollections of his prior life were severely fragmented, and he could not recall basic information such as his name, age, or reason for being in sight. During a routine assessment of the containment unit, security footage captured a visual anomaly within ID-W3's enclosure. The recording displayed a subtle movement within the largest shard, mimicking reflections of researchers who were not present at the time. Distorted images of personnel previously exposed to ID-W3 appeared within the reflection, each seemingly caught mid-expression or gaze, as if observing something outside of the artifact's containment area. This incident lasted only 12 seconds, after which the reflection stabilized and returned to showing the room as expected. Observational notes. Analysts noted that the reflections appeared delayed by several seconds and exhibited independent behaviors inconsistent with the observed individual's actions at the time. Personnel witnessing the incident in real time reported no audible disturbances, but claimed they felt watched and somehow recognized. Following repeated exposure, psychological evaluations of affected individuals reveal common patterns. 1. Memory fragmentation. Test subjects experience persistent gaps in memory, often forgetting essential details of their own personal histories. 2. Doppelgänger phenomenon. Many report a feeling of encountering another self within reflections, suggesting a dissociative effect tied to identity perception. 3. Residual recollection disruptions. Subjects who exit containment often report echoes of memories that do not belong to them, with some unable to distinguish these memories from their own. Conclusion and recommendations. ID-W3 exhibits dangerous and unpredictable cognitive effects on all personnel within proximity, even those who do not view the artifact directly. Testing has been indefinitely suspended following incident ID-W3I02. As further exposure poses significant risk to both memory retention and identity stability of research staff. Containment Directive, effective immediately. No personnel are permitted to access ID-W3 without explicit authorization from Site Command. Continued study will be limited to indirect observation via highly monitored digital recording devices, which must be wiped immediately after review. Final note. Analysis suggests ID-W3 may retain impressions or echoes of individuals exposed to it, implying that each encounter strengthens its perceptual anomalies. This artifact remains one of the most elusive and potentially hazardous items under site control.